Hello everyone! There's been a couple of lore things that they released lately, which might have slipped your attention. So I figured to just drop them all into one video and let you know what's been released. First up, there's the reprint of Rise of the Horde and Lord of the Clans, this time in an illustrated novel. It's quite a beefy book with a beautiful bound hardcover. The bigger size, it allows for bigger lettering, while the stories, they're not new of course. Rise of the Horde and Lord of the Clans, written by Christy Golden. They've been out for quite a while now. The first one, it talks about the formation of the first hordes, how these scattered clans were manipulated to come together under one banner. It's corruption, which would lead to the invasion of Azeroth. That story is then continued in The Last Guardian, followed by Tides of Darkness and Beyond the Dark Portal. These books are separate, so if you want the full experience, you have to pick up those as well. Well worth it in my opinion, as it's quite the foundation of Warcraft lore. Or you can just stick with this one and skip right into Lord of the Clans. To this day, it is still my favorite novel, as it talks about the rise of Thrall's Horde, the beginning of the one that so many eventually joined in classic World of Warcraft. As a bonus, this is an illustrated novel, but to make sure that, prevent any disappointment, the pictures that they added, they're not just for this book. Some have already been used in the Chronicles, some have been used for Hearthstone artwork, stuff like that, but they do add a bit to the experience. And all in all, I'm really happy to add it to my collection. Tether by Torchlight is a new short story up on the WoW website, also written by Christy Golden. In-game and in the novel Shadows Rising, we can see and we can read that there's a relationship building between Flynn Fairwind and Matthias Shaw. Tether by Torchlight is like a prelude for exploring Azeroth. It sets up the journey by having these two go to Duskwood on a quest for adventure and treasure, stumbling upon a dark necromantic plot to corrupt the Torch of the Holy Flame. A powerful artifact that adventurers created and has been used to dispel dark enchantments and keep the undead docile within their cemetery. That artifact has been stolen, but Flynn and Shaw are able to save the day. Not before the necromancer can gloat though, telling Shaw that dark wings are going to take away all that you hold most dear. The undead and those dabbling in its dark necromantic powers, they can feel in their bones that something's coming, something is on its way. Even they can feel the excitement of a brand new expansion. Flynn and Shaw, they purify the torch in the Moonwell at Twilight Grove, which fixes the problems at Duskwood, but it does make the Spymaster wonder about all the other powerful artifacts scattered across the world. Many of them, mercifully, they're safely locked away. Occasionally, the king sends Shaw to check up on them, since the world is currently about as quiet as Azeroth is likely to get. Now would be a perfect time for him to take a thorough inspection trip, catalog everything they know about. And at his side, he couldn't have a better, more trustworthy and caring travel companion than Flynn Fairwind. That journey is described in World of Warcraft Exploring Azeroth. From the shining towers of Silvermoon, to the sulphurous Blackrock Mountain, to the white stone castles of Stormwind, the Eastern Kingdoms are vast and full of wonder. Every corner of the majestic isle contains countless stories, treasures, and more than a few secrets that some would prefer to stay buried. Follow Spymaster Matthias Shaw and Captain Flynn Fairwind on an expedition across the Eastern Kingdoms for king and country as they chronicle its history and catalog the weapons, armor, and powers untold that are scattered across his sprawling dominion. Exploring Azeroth, the Eastern Kingdoms, is your first step on a truly remarkable journey across the beloved lands of Azeroth. Now, for some reason, this book was delayed into December, but I have been lucky enough to get an early copy. The cool part about the story is that you get to see the world of Azeroth described by someone that actually lives inside of it. Usually, we get somewhat of a top-down view on the events that happen, but now you get an inside look as to how someone like Shaw or how Flynn, how they would observe these crazy events that we play through. Now, I won't go into spoilers, of course, but there might be one thing in it that could mean the world for the future story of Warcraft. Or it could mean nothing at all. Time is going to tell. Would recommend to pick it up if you're curious at a new view at the world. And of course, if you love to follow Shaw and Flynn on their adventures. And the last thing on the list, that would be Rewrite 4th a short story written by Robert Brooks. Not a stranger to writing for the Warcraft universe, and the We Write Forth short story, it does not disappoint. With all the things that we discussed today, I'll put some links in the description down below so you could check it out for yourself. Would highly recommend it. The short story, it answers some questions we had about the confrontation between Bolvar and Sylvanas. Questions like, why weren't the recently Death Knights there? Where did they even come from? How come Bolvar was just picked up and carried away by the horsemen? They've actually got some solid reasons for that. Not to mention the insight that you get into the minds of the four horsemen. What does it mean to be resurrected and serve the Lich King? To break your bonds and an ally with Bolvar again, back in Legion. I always love it when these gaps in the story get filled up. I would love it if we get like an audio drama to cover the time that our leaders are now spending in the Maw. Get more details on what it's like to be in Warcraft's hell. But time is going to tell, I suppose. Right now, you're up to speed on some of the recent released lore things. Again, links are down below in the description. And it's almost release day, everybody. It is almost time to unleash the madness of the Shadowlands. My schedule for December is looking deliciously full. I can't wait to get started. But for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, see ya!